Richard, want to get your insights about all bird seeds are not created equally. We want you to be more educated consumer about what to look for in your bird seed.
This is sort of like now a word from our sponsor. Yeah.
Well, you want people who are buying Kohl's to appreciate the quality of it and what they're really getting and how and some of these other cheaper feed, you may think you're getting a good deal, but in reality you're not.
And no, you're not in a lot of cases. And especially with people just getting started feeding the birds, there's nothing where you just don't know. You haven't been educated. When I first started feeding the birds, I did the same thing. I went to the local grocery store. I got a bag of bird seed. I took it home. And I put it in the feeder, and it sat there.
Right.
And it sat there. And then some birds finally found it, and then they threw it out. Every day, the bird feeder would be half empty, but it'd all be laying on the patio.
Right, and that's not why you buy bird seed.
No. Then I learned what was going on, that's a lot of the stuff in there was just there because it was a seed. Nobody packaging knew the difference or nor cared. So the birds wouldn't eat it. They were shoveling it out, looking for the good stuff. That's what got me started in this business. I said, that didn't make any sense to me. What's the problem? And it was easy to fix. Just buy the seeds that the birds would like to eat.
And you did a lot of research to see what seeds they wanted, right?
Absolutely. There had been some relatively scientific tests done years before about birds' preferences for seed products. And I did my own, and it made sense what I put out. You'd see they eat this, don't eat this. Well, the stuff they don't eat, don't put it in the bag.
Right.
So it's been a long process of learning and adding products to the Kohl's line, but we did it not as a corporation to, let's make a lot of money or this will sell well. It was like, I want to feed my birds.
Yeah.
I want what's good for my birds, and I can't find it out there. So I made my own, and it just kept going. Like I said, a couple of times, somebody saw it and they wanted some. I gave it to them, and as a joke, we started packaging it, and it turned out not to be much of a joke. It was a great business.
Absolutely.
It just kept growing because we were supplying bird seed that the birds really liked, and people could see the difference at their feeders, which is exactly why you're supposed to be putting the bird seed out, to attract the birds so you can enjoy them.
Right.
And this time of year, like I said, just when they need it most, is a great time to put out good bird seed.
Yeah.
And then you get into what's good bird seed.
Well, tell us. You brought a couple of bags here today. Let's talk about that.
I have. I went shopping today for some bird seed, and I went to a place that didn't carry Kohl's, so I could buy what they had.
Right.
And actually, I found there's two types of bird seed commercially out there. One of them is really what I call grocery store blend. You'll see it change colors during the year depending on what they can find is cheap to put in a bag. It's mostly little round seeds, millet and milo, very few sunflowers in there. And most of that's going to get thrown out because it's worthless for feeding birds other than pigeons or doves on the ground, or quail maybe, but that's not what you're looking for. But some of the bird seed out there looks really good. And I've got an example right here. Here's a bag I picked up today, and it's fairly expensive, and it looks pretty good. You look at this, it's got safflower, it's got some sunflower, a lot of sunflower seeds. There may be some sun meats in there. It's really hard to say. I think it's on the list of ingredients, but that's nice looking bird seed. I wouldn't leave this behind. I'd pick this up and say, yeah, this is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. And it has a sort of the first part of what it lists is what's in it. Sounds a little bit like what's in Kohl's good blends. Nice. However, there is a small problem. Well, I'd say a big problem. Let's lay this down. My daughter came up with a great thing. I say my daughter's in this business. She's running the business. It's a family business. It's unlike some of these other places. I don't know that you could find a family member. I don't think they have them. But our entire company is a family-owned business.
Right.
And so you call someplace you can talk to. Elaine Cole. You will call, give them a call. They will talk to you. But she came up with a thing, if you can't read it, don't feed it. And what that means is take a look at the ingredients list. Wow, it's something else. I'm not even going to attempt to read the ingredients on this bag. I don't want to look silly, so I'm going to let Donna read it.
Okay, so it starts off okay. Sunflower seed, safflower seed, peanuts, dried cherries, dried raisins, vitamin A supplement, vitamin D3 supplement, vitamin E supplement, and then Menodione sodium bisulfate complex,
All right.
thiamine mononitrate, riboflavin, niacin, choline chloride. I mean, you get the idea.
I'm not feeling well already.
Bottom part, the last few ingredients are things that, yeah, you can't read it.
You can't read it. And there's
So
a
what does it mean?
lot of them. It means that they're trying to keep down insect problems in the seed, and they're trying to make it look better. In some cases, someone will put a little bit of mineral oil in there to make the seeds look a little shinier and to hold the dust down. But there's a lot of preservatives, things to kill insects and preserve. Just like a lot of food products will have some of these ingredients and nothing this bad. But you'll see this in a lot of these bird seeds, that helps their product look good. It doesn't make it any better. I will take this opportunity to read the Kohl's list. I might be able to read it myself. Now here's the Kohl's blend that a lot of these
You can
try to
see
look
the
like.
peanuts are much larger too, and
Yeah.
that the sunflower seeds look really rich and they're large, and I know they're very high quality.
and they're fresh and a lot of whole
You
peanut.
see a lot of sunflower meats
A
here.
lot of that gray is pure sunflower meats, not the one or two dry. It's a lot of, and that's what the birds are going for. It's the
Right.
sunflower meats and sunflower seed and the peanuts. I think I'll even attempt to read these ingredients. Black oil sunflower, sunflower meats, black striped sunflower, raw peanuts, safflower, pecans.
Wow,
That's it.
yeah.
Where's
Not
all
one
the other stuff?
preservative, no insect killers,
It's
nothing.
almost like you're not getting something.
Yeah.
You're not getting all that junk and all the chemicals. How do we do that? How do we get away with doing that? But these people have to put all those chemicals in there. It's not a secret. We package specially. This plastic looks a lot like this plastic.
It
but-
doesn't feel the same.
It's a slightly heavier, stiffer
Yes.
plastic. It's called barrier packaging. It has a barrier layer in it that prevents gas molecules from moving through the plastic. I use the example of a helium balloon. You have a helium balloon, like the rubber ones. You put it up 2 days later, it's empty and laying down. The helium gas inside the balloon moves right through that rubber. And it's hard to think that it can do that, but they're little rascals, and the plastics have a lot of holes in it. They do, over time, move right through it. As they move out, other things from outside move in. So you have an exchange of gas in a regular bag, so things get stale. And there's oxygen in the bag all the time, so any insects that are in with the raw seeds can grow and thrive. They got a food supply and they've got oxygen. The barrier plastic does not allow the molecules of gases to move in and out. So whatever you put in there stays in there. Whatever's on the outside stays outside. As this is packaged, we take, as it goes through the machine, a blast of nitrogen goes in, as the seed goes in, pushes the oxygen out. So the bag is then sealed, and it's filled with mostly nitrogen, an inert gas that's not really healthy if you're trying to live in it. So if any insects are in there, any seeds, insect eggs are in there, they won't hatch. If anything, a little bug is in some little shell, it dies. And so but the best thing is, it really stays fresh the whole time.
Right.
Because the oxygen content is reduced to just a little bit. There's not enough oxygen in there to corrupt the seed. Oxygen is what makes a lot of foods go stale, because it's almost like oxygen and things cause rust. Well, it causes problems with products, food products. So the packaging is very special. The nitrogen purging is very special, and it keeps everything fresh
Yeah.
for probably years. We don't know. We've had some bag now 5 or 6 years that just still looks great.
Yeah.
We don't have insect in it. We've also found that if it's laying around and unopened, rodents won't mess with it because they can't smell the seed inside. They can smell it inside other bags. Just let you know that it moves through. But that's why ours stays fresh.
Yeah.
All of our seed products are packaged like that. So when you get it, it's going to be fresh. We buy it fresh too. When we go to the market and get these things and contract for the food to come in, it's the freshest and the best that we can get as opposed to the cheapest we can get.
Right. I know you guys, and if a seed doesn't come in and look good, you'll send it back.
Absolutely, we'll send it back.
Yeah.